Y'all not gonna believe the CRAZ my mess that just went down in the world of hip-hop. Like, this ain't no regular rap beef. Nah, this right here. This is career-ending type drama. Fans are shook. The industry is whispering behind closed doors, and the sixth god himself, Drizzy Drake. He might have just walked away from the mic. It's for good. Yeah, you heard that right. Drake, the multi-platinum, billboard-breaking Pope Rap King, quitting music entirely. So what went down? Let me break it to you like this. Out of nowhere, some of Drake's most trusted Ghostwriters folks who've been in the shadows cooking up them hits just flipped. We're talking full betrayal mode. Leaking voice notes, screenshots, even lyrics that ain't never seen the light of day. And brew. The stuff it's bad. Like, cancel his whole brand kinda bad. And it ain't just about a few verses being penned by someone else. No. These ghostwriters claim they were threatened, underpaid, and even silenced by Drake's team. Some are even saying they wrote entire albums. Word on the street is, the same man who said, "I write every single lyric that you hear," might have been living a whole lie. And now that curtain's been pulled back, everything's unraveling fast. But wait, it gets wilder. Because apparently, this betrayal didn't just hit the studio. It hit Drake's personal life. We talkin' fights with his inner circle, a rumored breakdown, unfollowing close friends, and a shocking message he just posted to IG before deleting everything that said, "I'm done, for real." Stay locked in, because we're about to break down every shady detail, every twist, and every name drop in this scandal that's got fans asking, is this the end of Drake? It all started with a cryptic post. No caption, just a black screen on Drake's Instagram story with a single hourglass emoji. Fans thought it was another teaser. Maybe for all the dogs too, or some mysterious OVO rollout. But nah, this wasn't hype building. This was the calm before the biggest storm of his entire career. The first wave hit when an ex-ghostwriter, goes by the name Cairo, popped up on a late-night IG Live with only 800 viewers at first. Nobody paid attention until he started dropping names. And the name he dropped first, Aubrey. Yeah, Drake. Cairo said, "I've been quiet for years. I held my tongue, played my role, but nah, I can't stay silent no more. Y'all been giving this man all the credit, but I gave him the whole vibe." The comments went from cap to "you drop receipts real quick," then boom, Cairo starts showing snippets. Voice memos. Texts with OVO managers. Old files labeled 6 p.m. in New York, rough draft V1. Even early demos of Mob Ties and Emotionless with a completely different voice on his voice. People thought he was clout chasing at first. But then a second writer, a female songwriter named Luna B, backed him up. Luna said she worked on hooks and bridges for some of Drake's biggest R&B songs. She was like, "Y'all really think he wrote Jaded alone? Please. That pain? That was mine." Now the internet went wild. Reddit threads blew up. Clubhouse rooms were packed. Twitter was in flames. Hashtag DrakeyExpos trended for 3 days straight. And guess who else was watching silently? Drake himself. No tweets, no stories, just silence. Until the real bomb dropped, screenshots hit the blogs. TMZ, Shade Room, say Chizol of M posted alleged text combos between Drake's team and Cairo, where they offered him hush money, $30,000 to stay quiet. But Cairo refused. He said in his live, "I ain't talking no crumbs when I helped build the bakery." Then he dropped an unreleased verse that sounded too much like a reference track for Drake's Nonstop. That's when fans started putting it all together, and it didn't stop there. Remember Quentin Miller? The guy behind that whole Meek Mill ghostwriting scandal years back? He suddenly went live too. Not to take shots, but to say he warned Drake this day would come. Quentin said Drake played this industry game too long. He knew what it was. Now the curtain falling. So while all this noise was erupting online, behind closed doors, things were falling apart. Sources close to Drake said he was in Toronto, isolated, not taking calls, barely responding to OVO staff. Even his longtime engineer Noel was seen unfollowing folks on Instagram. Something was off. It was like Drake had vanished, then out of nowhere. A leaked voice note surfaced, allegedly Drake venting in a studio session. His voice sounded tired, broken. He said, "I gave everything to this. Every year, every bar, every tour. And now, I can't even tell who's real around me. I feel played." By everyone. Fans were shook. Some refused to believe it was him. Others said it sounded too raw not to be. Then things got even messier. Luna B went on another podcast and claimed Drake once told her, "You'll get your flowers. Just not now." She said he dangled promises of songwriting credits and publishing money, but they never came. Instead, she said, "He used my pen and erased my name." When asked why she stayed silent this long, her answer was chilling: "Because I was scared. Drake got people. Powerful people. But now, I'm not scared no more." Drake's fan base started to split. Some defended him, saying every artist has writers. Others said it's deeper than that. It's about loyalty, about integrity. People started digging, analyzing old tracks, old interviews, even old tweets. The narrative started shifting. The image of Drake as a mastermind, the lonely poet type, started to crack. And behind the scenes, it was pure chaos. Word spread that OVO's legal team was scrambling. Cease and desists were flying out to blogs. Drake's closest producer, 40, was nowhere to be found. And guess what? Pardon extra yes, PND, asterisk posted a cryptic message. "They only love you when you silent." Fans went crazy. Was he implying he ghostwrote too? Was he next? That same night, Drake's Instagram went blank. Every post gone. Even the ones from years ago. Fans woke up confused. Then the tweet came. No hashtags. No emojis. Just, "I'm done. For real." No context. No follow-up. Just silence after people started speculating. Was it a marketing stunt? Mental health break? Or did he really mean it? Sources close to his father, Dennis Graham, claimed the family had been trying to reach him for days. Apparently, Drake cut off even his own mom's calls. Insiders said his inner circle was falling apart. The loyalty he once had was dissolving fast. Even Chubbs, the enforcer of OVO, hadn't been seen in public since the scandal hit. One source told us it's like the whole empire crumbling from the inside out. But that's not even the most jaw-dropping part. Because just before we hit pause, Cairo dropped one more bombshell. He claimed Drake was preparing a whole new album, a raw, vulnerable tape about fatherhood, betrayal, and mortality. And guess what? Cairo said he co-wrote over half of it. But now, he's refusing to sign off on the release. "I wrote songs about his son, about the pain of fame. Real stuff," Cairo said. "And now he'd want to act like I never existed. I'm not letting that album drop unless the truth comes out first." The industry froze. Is this the real reason Drake just quit? Did his whole new era just get snatched away before it even began? The whole game was holding its breath. Cairo wasn't just macking noise anymore. He had power now. Real power. By refusing to clear his part of the songwriting credits, he was blocking what industry insiders were calling Drake's most personal album ever. Folks in the OVO camp were stressing. This wasn't a leak. This was a legal chokehold. And the worst part, Cairo wasn't backing down. He went live again the next night, this time with over 7,000 people tuned in. He said they tried to silence me with cash. Now they trying to pressure me with lawyers. But nah, y'all've gone hear my truth. Before they drop another lie, then boom, he played a full minute of a track, supposedly titled Father's House, where the lyrics detailed Drake token to his son about not trusting the world. Thing is, the voice on the reference track wasn't Drake. It was Cairo. Same melody, same words. Only difference. Emotion, pain, REALNESS. Fans were stunned. Some even said they preferred Cairo's version. Now things started spiraling. Ovo's lawyer team began firing off public statements, denying Cairo's involvement. But then Luna B jumped back in. She posted a clip of her on FaceTime with Drake from 2021, where he says, "Your pen saved that whole project. Don't ever forget that." The internet went nuts. Everyone started asking if he praised her back then, why is he erasing her now? Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Drake was unraveling. According to a close Ovo assistant who chose to stay anonymous, Drake hadn't left his Toronto mansion in over a week. His studio remained dark. The Ovo team was panicking, trying to protect what little was left of his image. And just when they thought things couldn't get worse, they did. A new ghostwriter came forward this time. It was someone nobody expected. His name, Eli Bishop, a low-key Canadian singer-songwriter who never once mentioned Drake publicly. But in a shocking interview with a small podcast called Rap Confessions, Eli claimed he helped write entire verses for Drake's features over the past 5 years. Even more shocking, he said he was never paid properly. "I gave him the verse for that song with Travis." Eli said, without saying the track name, "I wrote it after my brother died. It was personal, and he used it like it was his own pain. That's when I knew I was just a pawn to him." Fans started connecting the dots. The Travis Scott collab. Could he be talking about Meltdown? The timeline matched. The bars he quoted in the podcast matched too. It was getting real ugly real fast. But Eli wasn't just talking for sympathy, he had proof. He pulled out a time-stamped demo with metadata from 2022. His vocals matched the cadence and flow of the exact verse Drake laid down. People couldn't deny it anymore. The idea of Drake as the lone genius. It was starting to crumble, and the pressure wasn't just coming from outside. Ova's internal family was feeling the cracks too. Word started spreading that Drake's longtime friend and producer, 40, had been fighting behind closed doors to convince Drake to speak out publicly and clear the air. But Drake refused. Insiders say 40 told him, "You either tell the truth now, or it's gone. Eat you alive later." And apparently, after that convo, 40 went ghost. Yup. Ghost. Dude's been silent on socials. Hasn't pulled up to the studio. Even missed an important Ovo summit that was supposed to address the future of the brand. The team is SHAKI single quotes. Fans started speculating if 40 was finally fed up. Maybe he knew the truth. Maybe he co-signed these writers without speaking up. Either way, he wasn't defending Drake anymore, and that silence, it spoke volumes. Meanwhile, the industry started reacting, and not in the way Drake fans hoped. Other artists low-key started throwing shade. One of the coldest came from Kendrick's camp. A cryptic tweet from one of his engineers said, "Funny how the voice of a generation ain't even his own." Fans went wild. Is this a shot? A warning? Or something bigger? Even Kanye West, who'd been on his peace tour lately, dropped a petty bar during a surprise performance in Paris. He said they penned for him, but he the one crying on stage. Crow? W'd went insane. People knew exactly who he was talking about. And while all this drama's boiling over, guess who else stepped into the ring? Push T. Not with bars. Not yet, but with a single Instagram post, a pen emoji, and a chess piece. No caption. The internet exploded. Memes flew. Fans started begging for another diss track. Push knew the timing. He smelled blood. And just like that, Drake's enemies started lining up. One by one, but it wasn't just outsiders. Drake's own family was being dragged in. A Toronto blog claimed that Dennis Graham was deeply concerned and had been trying to stage an intervention. Apparently, Dennis reached out to several mutual friends to get Drake to speak up. Not just for his career, but for his mental health. One source close to the family said Dennis was worried that the fame finally broke him. Aubrey's always been sensitive to betrayal. This was too much. And then came the photo. Paparazzi caught Drake leaving a downtown Toronto clinic late at night. Hoodie up, mask on, look drained. unrecognizable. This was a man at his lowest just a few months ago. He was headlining sold-out arenas now. He was hiding from the world, and still, no music, no statements. No tweets, just silence, but Cairo. Oh, he wasn't done yet. He made it clear that if Drake or his team tried to release the album without crediting the writers properly, he would go legal. This ain't just rap. This copyright, he said. And if you think I'm playing, watch what happens next. Then came the craziest twist yet. An anonymous OVO staff member leaked an internal email. It was a draft rollout schedule for the new album. Dates, promo plans, collabs all scrapped. Right at the top of the doc in bold red letters. It read, "Hold. Clearance issues pending. Artists not in communication." The words were clear. Drake had ghosted his own team. And as the industry watched OVO crumble from the inside, fans couldn't help but wonder, was this the end of Drake's reign? Was this how one of the greatest artists of our generation would bow out? Not with a bang, but with a broken pen? Cairo looked straight into the camera, eyes heavy, like he hadn't slept in days. His face said it all. He wasn't just mad no more. He was hurt. The chat was already going crazy before he even spoke. And when he did, the whole industry felt it. He said, "I was never gonna say this. But at this point, I don't owe nobody silence. Not after what was done to me." Then he took a deep breath, paused, and dropped the nuke. "Drake promised me executive producer credit on this next album. I got the receipts. I got the emails. This ain't no ghostwriting situation anymore. I helped craft the entire direction of this project." People thought he was bluffing. But then he pulled up an email dated 6 months ago from OVO's project manager. Attached was a draft contract that listed Cairo as executive creative contributor for a project titled Songs for Solitude. And it didn't stop there. Cairo played a second unreleased track. This one was differently. Stripped down, snow beat. Just a raw verse about Drake feeling like a prisoner of fame. In the background of the studio clip, a voice that sounded like Cairo said, "Let's try that again." A little more broken this time. So now the conversation shifted. This wasn't just about ghostwriting anymore. This was about control. Was Cairo the real puppet master behind Drake's return to vulnerability era? Was Drake using other people's pain to stay relevant while selling it as his own? It felt like a betrayal layered inside another betrayal. And people started digging deeper. Old interviews resurfaced. One clip from 2 years ago showed Drake talking about tapping into other people's experiences too, right? Back then, it sounded artistic. Now, it sounded predatory. Meanwhile, Luna B went live again. This time, she wasn't alone. She had a literal folder of reference tracks, demo vocals, and voice notes between her and Drake. And one clip stood out above all the rest. It was a voice message from Drake saying, "Your verse on that heartbreak joint. I felt that in my chest. Like it was my pain. I need that." Luna paused the live after playing it, looked straight into the camera and said he needed it, but he never paid for it. That line went viral instantly. He needed it, but he never paid for it. It was printed on t-shirts the next day. Memes exploded. People started calling Drake the emotional scammer. Even artists who used to defend him went quiet. To Quiet. And OVA in Toronto, sources say the OVA headquarters were in full panic mode. Projects were on hold. Partnerships started pulling back. One insider even said a major brand deal was canceled due to image concerns. They didn't name names, but fans knew. The OVO brand was officially toxic. But if you thought that was the end of the drama, nah. It was just getting started because Cairo wasn't the only one with something to say. Out of nowhere, a former OVO assistant who will call Maya hit up a small blog with a wild claim. She said, "Y'all don't even know the half of it." There were times Drake would straight up take someone's lyrics from a writer camp, tweak one line, and record it like it was all his. Number, credit, no permission. And if you brought it up, you were cut off. The interviewer asked, "So why didn't anyone speak up before?" Maya said because people were scared. Contracts, NDAs, connections. If you cross Drake in this industry, you disappear. And just like that, the fans started connecting dots. How many voices had Drake silenced over the years? How much of his catalog was really his? And then came the absolute jaw-dropper. Maya leaked a Documentan internal OVO creative board from 2023. It listed song ideas, themes, and assigned writers. Beside each track title was a column labeled Artist Identity Alignment. Guess who had one of the lowest alignment scores? Drake. The document basically rated how much of the content actually came from him, and most of it didn't. That's when the internet turned completely. Forums lit up. Think pieces dropped. Major rap media outlets began quietly updating their past stories. Suddenly, the conversations weren't just about ghostwriting scandals, they were about legacy. One viral tweet said, "If Drake ain't who we thought he was, do we rewrite history? Does Take Care even count?" That tweet alone got over 2 million views, and through all this, Drake said nothing. But then, someone else spoke up, his son's mother. Sophie Brazo. She posted a black and white photo of their son drawing at a piano. The caption, "He writes his own songs. No names, no shade." But everyone knew what she meant. Even the Shade Room had to repost that one. And behind the scenes, things were falling apart for real. Word came out that Drake had canceled an entire European tour run without notifying venues. OVO reps scrambled to do damage control. Fans overseas were devastated. And on top of that, several close OVO associates began jumping ship. One quietly took a job at Republic Records. Another deleted all OVO-related content from their pages. It was like watching a kingdom burn from the inside out. But in the middle of the chaos, fans started to skin one question. Where was 40? Rumors began swirling that 40 had been the one who originally brought in Cairo, Luna, and Eli. That he was trying to keep Drake's legacy alive when he saw the music start to feel hollow. Insiders claimed that 40 had grown tired of painting Drake's emotions for him, and when he found out Cairo was being iced out, he walked, if true. That meant Drake lost his day one. The man who helped build the OVO sound from the ground up, gone. But wait, it gets worse. KYRO ended its final live with one last message. He looked into the camera and said, "I ain't out here to destroy no one. But if the only way to be heard is to blow the whole house down, then that's what I'll do." And with that, he went dark. No more lives, no more leaks, nothing but the damage. Already done. And as fans waited, watched, and wondered what Drake's next move would be, he still said nothing, just disappeared into silence. And it was in that silence that one last unexpected twist appeared. One more voice. Not a GHOSTWRITER, not an ex-friend, but a legend. Someone Drake once called a mentor. Someone who watched it all unfold and finally decided enough was enough. It was quiet for a few days. No new leaks. No shady tweets. Even the blogs slowed down. Fans started thinking maybe this whole scandal had finally hit a wall. Like maybe there was nothing left to say. Drake was still ghost. Cairo vanished from social. Luna deleted her account. Eli Bishop went off-grid. The silence was getting louder by the hour. But just when everyone thought the fire was finally burning out, one man poured gasoline on it. J-Z. Yeah, him. Out of nowhere. The godfather of modern hip-hop went live during an exclusive interview on a small but respected digital radio show. They asked him about the state of music, legacy artists, and then slid in the million-dollar question. Do you think what's happening with Drake hurts the culture? Jay paused, looked straight at the host, and what he said next shook the entire internet. "I think we're watching someone go through a creative collapse. You build your whole empire on emotion, on vulnerability, and then people start asking if that emotion was borrowed. It changes everything." The host pushed further. "So you believe the ghostwriting claims?" Jay didn't confirm, but he didn't deny either. He just said, real artists, no pain. Real artists write it. Some get help. Cool. But if your entire truth was just business the whole time, you were never really in this. Boom! The clip went viral instantly. Blogs reposted, fans debated. And just like that, Drake's silence had a new weight to it, because even his idols were starting to question him. And guess who else broke their silence? He posted a black screen. Just text. Posted a black screen. Just text. My loyalty was always to the art, and the art has suffered. No mention of Drake, no tags. Just pain. Insiders say 40 had been trying to get Drake to issue a public apology to the writers to admit he didn't handle things right, even if he couldn't reveal everything. But Drake refused. One insider close to the situation claimed that Drake told his team, "The minute I say sorry, it's over. They'll never look at me the same." So instead of explaining, he quit. And that's when the biggest blow came down. Spotify, one of Drake's biggest partners, quietly removed his profile from several editorial playlists. Now, if you search his name, his classics still show up, but the new music tab gone. And that unreleased album still locked up. KYRO never cleared the writing credits, and fans who did hear the leaked tracks started admitting something wild. This doesn't sound like Drake anymore. It was deeper than flow. Deeper than beat. It was soul. Fans could hear the disconnect now. They started comparing the reference tracks to the final versions. Some even said the demos had more pain than the album cuts. The illusion was shattering, and while Uvo tried to patch things up internally, the business side was bleeding. Merchandise sales dipped, collabs were canceled, sponsors ghosted, and quietly, legal documents started circulating, writers banding together, considering a class action lawsuit. But then came one final twist. A handwritten letter appeared online. No tweet, no Instagram post, no press release. Just a photo shared by Drake's close friend. OBO single quotes Brian. Caption: "He said I could share this when the noise died down." The letter was written by Drake. Pen, paper, raw. In it, he admitted everything. Not the names, not the full story, but he wrote about feeling lost in the machine. He wrote about chasing perfection, about wanting to stay number one so bad. He stopped speaking his own language, he said. Somewhere along the way, I stopped writing from my own wounds and started bleeding other people's stories. And maybe that makes me fake. Or maybe that makes me human. Fans didn't know how to feel. Was it an apology? A confession? A goodbye? He ended the letter with one sentence that echoed across the culture. "If this is the end, I hope the music still helped somebody." After that, total silence. And that silence was respected. Even Cairo reposted the letter with a quiet caption. "We just wanted our credit, not his downfall." And that was the shift. The narrative changed from destroying Drake to recognizing the mess he built around himself. The fans, they're divided. Some say this is the fall of a fraud. Others say even if the pain wasn't all his, the music still changed lives. And as the world adjusts to the reality of a Drakeless industry, the biggest question lingers: will he ever come back? Some insiders believe this is temporary, that he's taking time to rebuild, maybe even to write alone again. Others say he's done for good, that once the mask falls, you can't put it back on. But no matter what side you're on, one thing's for sure: the Drake we knew is gone. And in his place, there's just a silence, filled with questions. Questions the culture may never get answers to. So now, here we are. A whole cultural reset. Draquan's untouchable. Once the symbol of rap's emotional eerie has vanished from the game. No more tours, no more stories, no more champagne poppy in the comments. Just silence. The kind that don't come with peace, but with pain. The writers who once sat quietly behind the curtain have now taken center stage. Cairo, Luna B, Eli Bishop, they flipped the script on an entire legacy, not with diss tracks, but with truth. And in doing so, They made fans question everything, from Take Care to Scorpion, from the Instagram captions to the late-night freestyles. What was real and what was just a performance? The industry's been exposed, and the damage, it's still unfolding. Will Drake bounce back? Maybe will he ever be seen the same? Probably not, but maybe this story ain't about cancellation. Maybe it's about consequences. Maybe it's about what happens when an empire is built on borrowed voices. And the ghosts finally start to talk. But now it's your turn. What do you think really went down? Did Drake take it too far? Or is he just another artist caught in the machine? Can someone like him ever make a true comeback after all this? Or should he stay gone for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, no filter. We re-end everything. And if you rocked with this deep dive, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss the next drop. We got more exposes, more receipts, and way more tea on the way. This is Rap Unfiltered. And sometimes, the realest bars come from the ones we never see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.